All right, hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and I'm getting some fuzziness here. Let's see if that'll clean up a little bit. Maybe it won't. We can adjust that a little bit there. My transparency is a little off. Time to mess with chroma. Hello and welcome. Hello Harold. Hello Road. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Let the people know. We'll wait for a few more folks to join us. This is it. Road said that it's Saturday, and it is. It's Saturday. It's a Saturday evening. And I'm gonna build a model kit. I got this Tallgeese right here, the Tallgeese 3 from Endless Waltz. Got no wing Endless Waltz. I should clarify. I'm gonna keep building that. I did a singing stream last night. That was fun. And I will do that on occasion, not regularly, but on occasion. All right, that's better. It's not great. Let's see if I can. It's better. Gotcha there. Change the smoothness. No. Yeah, that's better. Add more fuzzies in there, but it won't look as bad in the other shot. Maybe we can even. Trying to hit that balance. Sometimes that balance isn't great. But we're waiting for a few more folks to join us, like I said, before we get into the building. It takes a couple of minutes for people to pop in, which is fine. But I did want to say hello. And we're building a model kit today. Like I said, doing the Tallgeese. We'll talk about some of the anime. I watched some of the new anime. There's still a bunch of shows I have not watched yet. Because a lot of new anime came out. And people were like, rewatching stuff or like catching up from last year, and I was like, this is not the time to catch up because there's a bunch of good new stuff out there. But I also want to catch things up because, as you may have heard, I'm going to start streaming 3 times a week with build streams. I'm going to be adding Mondays from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. That will be when I stream on Mondays, so folks should hopefully be able to tune in for that to check me out. For those streams, that'll be every Monday from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, got a new subscription. That's awesome. Using Twitch Prime. Loop Loop Taco. Thank you very much for the subscription. I really appreciate that. Highest numbers I've ever had. We are so close to hitting 60, which would be unbelievable. It's like twice as much as our normal. So that's really fun. Road says every time I come here, I go, oh, right, I need to watch new anime. Then I don't. I have failed anime. Road, there's a lot of anime out there, so you haven't failed anyone. You haven't even failed yourself. There's a lot of stuff, and it's hard. Because, hey, I'm the same way where last night I streamed for 2 hours, and I was like, I'm going to watch some of this new anime. And instead, I just watched some clips of current anime and some clips of anime I watched. I watched a bunch of clips of an anime I watched like 3 years ago, and I was just watching YouTube clips. I don't know why. They were fun to watch. Wrong kind of subscription. Hello, Ultron. Shadow, we are working on the Tallgeese 3. Yes, I got it right here. Waiting for a few more folks to join us in chat before we get in there. Ultron's in the chat. Welcome. Happy to have you here. But yeah, we got the Tallgeese 3. We've done the arms. We've done the body, and we've done the head. We got to do the legs. Legs are next, then the waist, and then like the kind of like the armor and skirt, and then the backpack and the weapons. So we've got some stuff to do. But a lot of these steps are like do all of this twice, which is good because we'll do the feet and some of the legs, and then start building off of it. So that's cool. Zorb is here. Epic is here. Lashbrook is here. Great people are here. Let's get started. We got some great, solid folks here. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to try to quickly adjust the chroma. I apologize. I set all of this up in the afternoon, and then it went out to go do something. And when I got back, I got back just in time to start streaming, and I didn't do a great job of getting things ready. All right. We're going to go with that. It's not perfect, but it'll work. I'd have to get up and move lights around to get rid of this annoying spot. Just a spot on my green screen where it bends because there's a wall. Like I'm touching a wall right now. So my green screen like curves and there's just like a dead light spot. I'm thinking about how to fix it. I'd like to fix it because it's very annoying because it's literally right over my shoulder. So that's kind of annoying. And I like doing this. Like, um, I could just have a back wall. Like we could turn this off and I could just have this wall behind me. And that doesn't look terrible, especially if it was just the wall, but I don't love it. You can see, yeah, the curtain just isn't straight, and so that causes some problems. I'm working on figuring out a better way of doing it. I think I can. Honestly, what I need to do is move all my setup like that way a little bit, so that I don't have to worry about the bend. I could just end the curtain, and I think that actually would help a lot. I don't know. You don't need to know that. These are just behind the scenes stuff. Um, I could get one of those like oh god, whoa, shit, dropping some frames. I hope that. Sorry about that, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube later, you don't notice any of that. But yeah, I just dropped a bunch of frames there. I apologize for that. Hopefully that will not be a continued issue. Was not running into that last night, so hopefully tonight will be okay. Zorb says, I find that when I'm using a green screen, I need an extra light on the screen. Yeah, I have good lighting. I just need to really we're autofocusing here. Fix that. I have good lighting. It's just trying to balance it. Really, what it honestly is that I have the major problem is that I just like my space for where the green screen is. Uh, I have looked at the because I think it's kind of neat. Ooh, part of the arm fell off here. Where does this go? Like this. Piece fell off. The arms, the armor for the arms here isn't particularly great on this kit. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I've looked into because Elgato makes and sells a green screen that's just like it's just a little rectangle thing, and then you just slide it up like you would a portable projection screen. Same technology. Oh, it's a green screen, but I don't actually have the clearance behind me for that, and you have to be like. So it's not a good solution for me. But I did look into that and just kind of did some measurements in my room about where they say you should have it, and I was like, oh no, that's not going to work. So that unfortunately is not a solution. But I mean, the old days, folks that are around day one or early on, I should say, probably easier to say early on, will remember that I had was not using a green screen at all. So I would just kind of have myself in the corner, and then most of the screen instead of the way things are now, where I'm basically centered. Oops. And it wasn't as good, I don't think. Um, I like this setup better. That's a setup I use on the road because obviously I'm not bringing my green screen and a bunch of light. Green screen looks so slick. It's a bit pricey for me though. Yeah, Zorbs, that thing is a cool little addition. It's good if you have a big room that you are streaming out of and you want to have access and you want to like throw it behind you so people don't see like the rest of the room. That's it's a good solution. I mean, the other solution is to get two C stands and set those up, and then just have your green screen sheet on a curtain. And then Harold says I may get a green screen with my first Twitch payout. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hello, Board. Welcome. We're working on the kit that Board bought off my Amazon wish list. We'll talk more about that later, but I did put some additional things in my wish list yesterday, including something that's people might get into. I don't know if they'll get into it, but it's pretty neat. I've never owned and never used a Raspberry Pi, but there is a case for the Raspberry Pi. The company they make several things, including this case, which is It's an enclosure that looks like it's made out of either fake Legos or they just bought a bunch of Legos cheap. Um, and looks like, an NES, or you can buy one that looks like a SNES or a Genesis. That's interesting, and I think I was kind of interested in that. So I put that on my wish list. I mean, I would play old games on it and uh, use my capture card, which I never use. Um, when I am playing games here on my PC and either stream those or record those for Let Pat Play, my YouTube series, I am just capturing a display monitor because I have two monitors. So I'm just using OBS and a display monitor. I'm not using capture gear when I am streaming or recording. But I have a capture card, and I could use it for stuff like a um, uh, a Raspberry Pi or something like that, which could kind of be interesting. But I think the idea of like building an enclosure out of Lego, real or fake, is kind of interesting. So I don't know. It's in there. It'd be a cool thing. I would do cool. I would attempt to do cool things with it. I don't want to say for sure they would be cool, but I would make the attempt to do cool things. It's always the goal, right? I mean, that's my goal anyway. To do cool things. All right. And I don't know where that goes. It goes somewhere later. Pull these pieces out. So yeah, we're just working on the feet of our Tallgeese. On Monday, I'll have my next episode of Let Pat Play. Speaking of Let Pat Play, my next episode is coming out on Monday, and that is features some Gundam Wing content, some Gundam Wing video game content. Sort of. I want to say sort of features it. It's I think it'll be interesting. I think people will get a kick out of it. That comes out on Monday for everybody, except if you're my $5 or more uh, backer on Patreon or pleasure on Patreon. They'll get it tomorrow during the day because I always send stuff out early to Patreon. $5 or $10. Speaking of which, also on Monday, I'll be streaming. As I said, 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. I am now going to be a streamer of 3 times a week, and I'm doing an afternoon stream. I wish that I had another night that I could do it. But I certainly don't want to do build stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which are the nights that I have available. I'd like to have a night where I don't stream or work. So I have made the choice to do an afternoon stream. I know that that is not super convenient for folks. If my numbers are lower than the other times I stream, I understand. I'm hoping that some people it'll be good for, and maybe some of my international friends out there will be able to watch, or people that work from home or don't work on Mondays. A lot of people stream at night, so maybe it'll be good. Maybe people will be like, "Oh, this is the perfect stream for me and my schedule." I'm hoping I can make some people happy that way. But yeah, and then that's the idea. Epic says Monday works for me. I work 10-hour shifts and have Monday off. Ultron says, "Hey Pat, if you were to try to speed run a game, what would it be?" That's a good question. I don't know. I like how broken Fallout. ISK, 17 months is a lot of months. ISK, that's incredible. Thank you so much for being a subscriber for 17 months. That's awesome. I really do genuinely appreciate it so very much. Thank you for your continued support. That fucking rules. Yeah, I like the Fallout speed runs. Like I'm not particularly great. I've tried some of the hacks with it. The kind of like they're not hacks, but The skips, like the distance skips, I'm not good at that. I am good at the have an item, use the item to hop up and scale telemetry in the game and get some height that you're not supposed to get over things. I'm good at that, so I think I could get good at the distance skips and some of those tricks. And I like Fallout a lot and wouldn't mind like doing a Fallout New Vegas or something like that. Because there are that one is once you get good at doing the distance, then it's just memorizing the path you have to go and memorizing the answers you need to give and where you need to go meet people. And then it's just doing it right every time. It doesn't involve unbelievable skill. It's just memorization, clicking a lot, and getting good at a few things. Um, it says I'm actually really bummed by this AGDQ. I feel like there was a bigger emphasis on longer 2 to 3 hour runs, and that just doesn't hold my attention at all. I would have watched a 45-minute Mario run, but I won't an hour and a half Mario run. Uh, yeah, I will say that on YouTube, I often click on because I rarely watch them live. I usually watch some or most of the ones. I do gravitate towards the shorter ones and the sillier ones. If you're like, oh, I beat this game and here's the 15-minute speed run, I'm generally more interested in that. But don't. But I do respect them for bringing in communities that want to see it. Like, folks vote on the games that they want to see there within the speedrun community. And as a fan of the community who is not there all the time, I give a lot of credit to the people that want to uh, like do the work of figuring out the games and bringing people there and doing all that. Like, if these are the games that they're active and there's good communities in and there's good runners for it, like, okay, uh, even if it isn't necessarily always games that I'm super thrilled to watch. Uh, oh yeah, there are people that the longer runs are for. I guess I'm just bummed that I don't enjoy them more. Yes, and I get what you're saying, and I tend to agree. Like I said, I like the short, weird runs. I also like a run that if you're going for some sort of marathon like strats and you're trying to break a record, it's nice to know you messed up 10 minutes into a 40-minute speed run. I think it would be awful if you were a speed runner going for like a 4 hour thing and you messed up in hour 3. You just like completely messed up, unrecoverable. You're definitely not going to finish the record, or you have to restart. Like, that's, to me, feels heartbreaking and way worse than, well, nope, missed it. Um, I've seen the Quake 1 speed run, and it looks like a lot of fun, but I also love that game. And Road hasn't seen any of the GDQ this week. Silent Hill 2 are going when I couldn't watch. Yes. Last night there was a 9.5 hour Final Fantasy run. Don't get me wrong, that's super impressive and it's great happening. Yeah, I mean, that's sometimes the overnight ones tend to be that, and also there's years where they don't do that at all. Because I remember there was a Final Fantasy that was like 12 hours, and like people were like, "Why are you doing this?" They're like, "Well, we haven't done one of these in a long time," and the community always that's a very vocal. I forget which one it was, but they were very vocal about wanting to see that there, and so they were like, all right, we'll do it, but we won't do another one for a while. And like, I think that's okay. It is a bummer if you like short ones, and especially when like if the only short ones are the broken games. If like the very broken ones are the only ones that have short speed times, and you're like, this is actually not fun to watch. Uh, I respect them doing Final Fantasy runs as speed runs of 6 hours. Uh, there is an RPG Limit Break where they do super long runs of like Kingdom Hearts and other long JRPGs that I've enjoyed seeing those. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. Uh, and I get it why you would be not thrilled with that if that's what if you don't like those. There was something I just watched that was pretty fun. Oh, actually, Cursed something or other. It's it's one of the not Castlevania games, and it's like the speedrun community has a mode where after you beat it once and you can play. Basically, the idea is that this because it's basically Symphony of the Night, but not Symphony of the Night. I forget the name of the game, but the speedrun was really interesting, and it was like the the one that I watched was after you beat the game, the main guy is now the villain, and all the other characters you can switch between them, and you have to go and beat him to like save him, and it was really interesting. I forget it's a Cursed Moon or something like that, but it was really cool, and it was fun because like the people on the I think it might have been Bloodstained. Yeah, maybe it was Bloodstained. But the people on the couch were like, um, oh, I speed run just using the main character. I speed run any percent. And the person who's playing there, well, this is my main speed run. Is this mode in it? And it was really interesting because they all play the same game, but they all do different speed runs within it. Uh, And I thought that was really fucking cool. I was totally into that idea. I should watch some of the other ones. I do think it was Bloodstained, yeah. Um, I'm actually going to go look it up. Let me check my YouTube history. Let's see if I can find it. There's probably better ways to find that than I probably could just go to Games Done Quick and see what I missed here. Ooh, I wouldn't mind watching Octopath Traveler. That'd be kind of fun. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Yeah, so it's Curse of the Moon, Bloodstained, and it was like 21-minute speedrun. And it was neat. It says I had a super bad day, so I'm gonna go take a hot bath and then get to bed early. Well, hello, Isk, and goodbye, and thank you for joining us. As always, nice to have you, and I hope the bath and going to bed early helps end off a bad day. Tomorrow is another day, which is cheesy but also true. So yeah, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it, and thank you for subbing again. 17 months is just ridiculous. Yes, I agree with Road to Better. And Epic says I enjoy the runs that they're just playing the game super well, not really doing massive skips or breaks. I am just impressed with the more uh, with that more than breaking a game. Yeah, I think sometimes watching a game get broken is actually really interesting. So I'm both, right? I do like there's a Bubble Bobble speed run. Single player Bubble Bobble. You just have to be good at Bubble Bobble. Or Puzzle Bobble, I should say. Puzzle Bobble, because it's on, that's the version. It's Puzzle Bobble. You just have to be good at Puzzle Bobble, and you're so, which is fun to say, and you're so good at it that you can, like, do it fast. There's no tricks. You can memorize some of the ones that aren't randomized. But mostly it's just like, I'm very good at this. I can do this very fast. I think that's awesome. I'm super into that. But I also I just beat Fallout 4 in 45 minutes. That sounds pretty cool too. I like both of them. I think there is things to like about both styles. I'm super into both kinds of streams or speed runs. I mostly just want people who are nice and cool. If they're informative, that's great. If they're entertaining, that's great. I watched a little of the Task Bot last night. Not much, but a little bit because I was getting ready for my stream. Uh, and the person who was running it, who like worked on it, was just very proud of doing that test bot stuff. It was very clear that person was just so psyched about uh, showcasing it, and I think that's awesome. And as always, I am always happy when people are like, I'm doing nonsense to this game. It shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. And they aren't like, oh, what happened to QA here? Because you could do this and this game is broken. And it's like, yeah, no one does what you're doing. And also, you're so thankful that it's broken in that way because now you just shaved a minute and a half off the world record because it's broken in such a way. I don't know. It always bums me out when people are shit talking the developer of games that they're thoroughly playing in ways that are complete nonsense and completely borked. Yeah, the runners can make or break something. I think I watched a run of Gex, a game I don't care about, but the runner was really nice. I think I remember feeling positive about it. Yeah, Road. I mean, that can go a long way. Yeah, sometimes it's a thing that I'm like, I have no idea what this is. No thanks. Or like, I want to watch him. There was a Mega Man for a couple years ago that I was like, hell yeah, Mega Man. Can't wait for this shit. And then the streamer was, or the runner was really not cool. It just turned out to be a real shitty dude, and I was like, no thanks. I now don't want to watch. I forget which Mega Man it was, but I was like totally disappointed with how shitty that dude was, and it was like, oh, never mind. Now I can't enjoy this. Um, but yeah, I think like an enthused runner or like, oh, there was it I forget which game it was. But there was a run that I watched some of where I just pulled that out by mistake. Um, where they were like playing one of the re-releases. I think it was Crash Bandicoot, and they were like and they were like so happy that the devs kept in um, a thing that wasn't supposed to be in the game that streamers started using, or runners, I should say. I keep saying streamers. I meant runners. They started using like an exploit or glitch, and the devs kept it in so that speedrunners could do that. And I think that's fucking awesome. I love that when people were like, "Oh yeah, um, we know how important this thing is, and for casual players or non-speed runners, it doesn't matter, so we left it in." And it's like that's great. I think that's really cool. And I can't remember what game it was, but there was some game that they were putting out a next gen version of it, and they had changed something, and then um, the streamer or the speed running community was like, "Oh, we wish you hadn't done that or whatever," and they patched it to put it back in. I think that's awesome. Rami had a good tweet about that. They're doing QA testers never thought of because no normal player would attempt that. So don't shit talk the QA folks. Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. It's like, look, there are games that are broken, and you're exploiting the brokenness of those games. Like Alex Navarro did that truck racing game. That is a broken mess of shovelware. But like, if you're just playing something and you're like, oh, I can't believe this game does this, and you're like, no one else does that. You're the only one doing that. Nobody who's just picking up this game is doing the things you're doing. Like, be cool. Big rigs, yes, big rigs. That game is broken. You know, I don't know if there was QA for that game, but other games that like are fine. It's like, we don't need that. Uh, yeah, I think that's like fun to see. I like seeing that. The what was it the Mexican runner, I believe. Like, look, I don't Could be that that is not a cool dude. I don't know. I can't. I'm not here to say that or not out of my own experience. But I remember that's a dude that I like that guy's speed runs. That's a name that like I recognize. I don't know a lot of the personalities in the speedrunning community. I'll freely admit that. I will say sometimes I look at the schedule and if I see someone's first or last name, I'll make a note to watch it because I really love people that just use their goddamn names. I'm not here to be like you need to, but it is sometimes really nice as a guy that streams under his actual name. Uh, um, but I know that if I started streaming before I started performing at places and doing shows and stuff and being a live theater performer, I might have gone under Baer or something like that or whatever. Um, I just that came to it the other way, so I don't. But you know, it's nice that one of the Hearthstone streamers that and YouTube video person that I watch is Brian Kibler. That's his first and last name. I like that a lot. Yeah, Road. I might have done a Pooh Bear or something. I might have done whatever, some sort of thing, but I didn't because to me anyway, I've already established my name as as my brand or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to look at that, but I'm already pretty well established with my current name, so it made sense to me that I could just stream as my name, especially since it was not taken. Yeah, if Twitter.tv or Twitch.tv/Pat Baer had been taken, then I guess I would have come up with a name for the channel and done that, but it was not taken. I was able to use my name, so fuck, I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm lining some stuff up here. I'm trying to do it right. There's a little tiny stuff here, so I'm going to... All right, so I got to do this and that. Oh, so someone renewed and didn't tell me. We are now at 60 subscribers. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave in there. I don't know who renewed because it wasn't a new. It must have been a renewal. But we're at 60. That's incredible. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Uh, uh, to be fair, Brian Kibler was already huge under his actual name from Magic the Gathering. Glassbrook, no, I understand. You're totally right. Robot Crank says it may have been you. Yeah. I always like it when people know, click that thing that says, like, oh, I just renewed, because it's nice to see that, and we can all give you all shout-outs and say thank you for your support. But, no one's under obligation to do that, but it is nice, and I really do I appreciate that. But, yeah, Robot Crank just subscribed with Twitch Prime for 4 months in a row. Thank you very much. Robot Crank, I think that was you, but we're at 60, which is awesome. I was saying how happy I was to be in the high 30s, like, not too long ago. So this is really rad. As always, I am just so touched by folks' support of what I do here. And I'm excited. Like, I don't know quite what the future holds as far as streaming, like, obviously consistently going. Depending on the work I end up doing in the future, I might have to change when I stream. I'm not going to change the frequency. Y'all are going to get 6 hours of build streams a week. That's 3 different streams, 2 hours at a time of building, plus other stuff. I might have to pull back a little bit on the other stuff. I don't want to. I want to do game streams. I put my schedule up on Twitter. It's my pinned tweet. Also, if you go to twitch.tv/Pat Baer when I'm not streaming, the image there is now my schedule. I should have done that forever ago. I just had the every Thursday and Saturday instead of the actual calendar, because that makes more sense, and I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. Duh. Epic says just need 9 more people to get to 69. Nice. Yes, believe me, when we are in the mid 60s, I will be promoting that. There's also stuff like I don't know overlay stuff. When we get the announcements, they pop up. I got that with OBS and working, and I use Streamlabs. I should probably get a thing that like pops up, keeps the tally and increases the tally of like subscribers that's in the corner. Like there are other things I could do that I haven't yet. I need to kind of invest in some tricks and stuff. But I like the little like noises that come up when people, uh, either donate bits or subscribe or follow. I think those are kind of fun and not too intrusive. Like some people have like animated GIFs that play and music that plays, and uh, that would all to me. The only reason I would ever do that is if I became a horror game streamer, which I am not because no, thank you. Um, because I think that's very funny when like those quiet moments where you're like it's not tense yet and the action is resting, and then all of a sudden your icon appears and music starts playing because someone subscribed to you, and you freak yourself out. I think that's very funny. But that's the only reason I would do that because I don't want to ever do that. Horror games. Will and Spike Club figured it out. I'm sure they'll help you out. Yeah, no. Uh, uh, Foray, I can. It's just a matter of I haven't, not that I'm like worried that I'll never figure it out. Yeah, it just hasn't been a priority. But it would be something I'd like to do. All the speedrun talk made me think of a loading ready run crap shot where a guy does a speedrun of going to get a cup of coffee. It's pretty good. Pretty good, Harold. Um, yeah, I haven't been able to think of another game that I would speedrun other than like the Fallout games because it would be kind of fun to learn how to break that and learn some of those glitches, some of the travel glitches. All right. Uh, like there's a way to clip through things where you you can play without using your Pip-Boy. Like there's a way uh, to play. Oh, I gotta put a thing on here. I forgot. I missed a step, y'all. Missed a step. Gotta go back. There's a way to like clip through stuff and play the game without ever picking up the Pip-Boy, and that's nonsense in a way that I'm like, that's pretty cool. In Fallout 4, anyway. No, for you, that's cool. Don't no, I appreciate that, and like I should probably reach out and go like, hey, what? Like I should ask my friends who use those that have those things. Hey, what do you use? I know some people have things that are custom made for them, and some people, have other things. I'm using Streamlabs because there was a very good YouTube tutorial on how to use Streamlabs. And like I said, all I'm using Streamlabs is for like those notifications that pop up because I like them popping up on screen and not just in chat. I think it's cool. And also for my archives on YouTube, I don't have uh, chat open on those archives. So it's kind of neat. One thing I do want to say is if you missed my singing stream last night and you went to Twitch to watch it, it is muted. The whole thing is muted. A game that Twitch is making gets muted in their VOD service because of course it does. Because they have not figured out a way around that. So since I streamed from the app, the Twitch Sings app, and I didn't record locally on OBS, I had to quickly download it before it got muted because the download would get muted as well. So I had to quickly get it as soon as I could so that I could put that archive up on YouTube. And I was pretty nervous about that. So I'm like, it was fun to stream from the app because you get to see me like instead of my avatar, but I don't know if I'll do that the next time I do Twitch Things. I could probably just do the normal. And I missed some of the overlay stuff. Licensing, no. Look. Licensing is very hard. And even licensing for this app, I'm sure is incredibly hard. And then maybe when it's out of beta, they will have exceptions for their auto mute that will include if it's an archive of Twitch Sings done in the app, maybe not done outside the app, but done in the app, it won't auto mute. Maybe they'll eventually add that. I'm not saying they definitely will. I'm saying maybe they will. Or maybe they won't be able to do that. Maybe they've been trying to figure out a way to do that, and it's just never going to happen. I don't know. But it was weird that a thing I did in a thing called Twitch, I can't archive on Twitch. But it was fun. I had a good time doing it. I'm always very happy to do Twitch things, so I think it's kind of fun. And then, oh no, what did I miss a? I missed a step. All right, I gotta take this off. Well, this will go much faster when we do the other leg, but I did miss a step, so I'm gonna have to pop this off here. I missed the piece here that I'll need for the foot can connect. That is a goof. It's a real goof right there. I mean, it seems like a well-made thing. Yeah. Harold says, I followed harmonics long enough to know that licensing is hard. Oh, no, I don't disagree with you. And doing it one way for one game doesn't mean it's going to make it easier to do it for the other thing, and I'm sure the difference between oh, this is a dancing song versus this is a dancing game versus this is for a rhythm game versus this is for a singing thing. I'm sure it's all sorts of different layers and responsibilities, and I feel for all of them. But I do think that it's a cool product, and I did like streaming from it. It did change. It automatically changed my information on Twitch to say I was streaming from that, and that's why we had a raid. I figured it out. That's why we had that raid last night. The anime raid happened because they were just going to. I think that person had done some singing in Twitch Sings, and then they were just going to different streams that had were doing that, which I think is kind of cool. That was kind of neat that happened. I think it was very fun that a bunch of people gave me a follow, and I hope they check it out. I don't know if they're here tonight. If you are, hello. If you're not, in the future, that's going to be exciting too. But because it was really fun to just be like, oh, well, normally I build model kits and we talk about anime. And people were like, wait, what? It was a nice surprise for some folks, so that was cool. You know what? I mean, honestly, I got a little scared because I was singing when it happened, and all of a sudden there were just all these emoticons and then people yelling anime raid, and I was like, I don't know how to block a raid. How do I block a raid? And then it turned out they were just wanted to get our attention and were nice, but they wanted to be they wanted to be the center of attention for a moment, which I was fine with. But I was like, I don't know what to do here, and it really did kind of freak me out because I was like, oh no. But they turned out to be great. So it was lovely to be rated by anime. Arguably, it gets harder as you prove yourself successful in the improv. Yeah, I'm sure licensing for harmonics is like a well-oiled machine, but also always new weird problems arising where you're like, well, you didn't think that way a month ago. And they're like, oh, well, But I'm sure Harmonix is happy to make anything that doesn't involve plastic instruments. So, if it's a cool music game like Twitch Sings or app or whatever, I think it's pretty good. Never trust anime. Always trust anime, board. You gotta trust anime. Anime will never steer you wrong except when it does. And it's bad when it does. Sometimes it steers you very wrong. All right, so now we did one leg, the right leg. Now we got to do the left leg, which is basically the same thing. So it shouldn't be too hard. Now that we've done it once, we should be able to Do it again, and I won't screw up like I did last time because I'll understand what I did wrong. Except when I totally screw up again because I said that it would go fine. All right, go there. Sometimes trust anime. Drum kit support, yes, understand. Sometimes trust anime, yeah. Epic, it's certainly the last games like Rivals was the thing that kind of helped out. Um, Look, I have to assume that that Hasbro is taking a lot of the risk on drop mix, which I think is really clever and cool. But is I don't know if like Harmonix was ready to. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they definitely like it's that weird thing where they're still a company that's producing content and games and stuff that people enjoy. So they're around and here to stay for a while. And uh, I felt bad for Mad Cats because I think Mad Cats was turning a corner as a company and were like that had been associated with like cheap bad versions of peripherals and were suddenly like making cool things because like they had made that WWE fighting game. They made a controller for that was a fighting game stick that was like really good, and they were making good sticks. And I was very sad about that because I think they were turning the corner, and people were like, Mad Cats wasn't a joke name because it had been for a while. And of course, they made good stuff as well. It's just we didn't, we always focused on the kind of cheaper weird things. Yeah, I like Drop Mix. I don't own it, but I've played it and enjoy what I've played. And I played it at a convention a couple times ago. Have you ever built a real grade? The detail and color separation on these is wild. Yes. Um, Shadow, I have built a couple real grades. I really enjoyed one of them. I think the wing that I built was good. I can't remember which one I built. It might have been the Exia, but I built one that people like. When I was building it, the comments from folks that had built it before were like, "This is considered the worst real grade." Like people were like, "Oh, this is the bad one." I forget which one it was that I built, but it wasn't really fun. I just in general, um, uh, I'm tough when it comes to um, uh, what was it? What should I say? How should I say this? I like the 1/100 scale. Yeah, that's the best way to say that. Um, I like building a 1/100. I prefer master grade over high grade, obviously. The real grade stuff is all right. I think the re 100, like non-graded stuff, is actually incredibly interesting. I've only built one of those, but I'd like to buy or two. But I've built two, and I think the full mechanics line for Iron Blooded Orphans is really interesting. Um, uh, I think that's kind of what real grade is doing for the 144 scale. It is really hard to shake the reputation that Mad Catz had, but I think they were doing it. They were doing the work. People were, people had nice things to say um, about them, and I think they were like making cool products that were good. I think it maybe was a little too late, which is a bummer. Uh, Yes, the RX-78 is a finicky build. I haven't built one of those on stream, but I have built one in my previous time as a builder, pre-stream building. I definitely did the 7.8, and that, yeah. I mean, I have a love for older kits. There's one G Gundam Master Grade we haven't done. Um, It's the Germany's kit, the German Ninja kit. We haven't done, and that's the last of the master grades. There's some high grades, but that's the last of the master grades. And those that have been here for a long time might remember, like the first kit we did was we did the Shining Gundam, and that was so rude awakening. I hadn't done a kit in so long, and suddenly I had screws, and I had never done anything for G Gundam, which is why I started with G Gundam, because I hadn't done it and liked that kit a lot. And boy, that was a rude awakening to have like that era. Those kits, that line is bad. It's tough. The high grades aren't that bad, but the master grades are. I would not recommend that unless you have a lot of experience building. Um, the master grade of the Master Gundam from G Gundam, I think, is actually an incredible build. It's really beautiful looking, uh, but it was not fun to do. But I will take all of that over those pose boosted X-wing, because I don't think I ever want to build a Star Wars model kit again. I had no fun with that at all. Did not enjoy those. I'm sure there's something out there. I'm sure there is a Star Wars model kit out there for me that's like really fun and cool to build, but I did not enjoy those at all. That was not a fun build to do. Um, yes, a master grade of the horse would be so great, Shadow. I actually built the high grade of the master and the horse just because I really wanted to build a unicorn Gundam. Not from Gundam Unicorn, you know what I mean. Haha, you know what I mean. But like to build that unicorn, I was really psyched about that. So we ended up doing that just because it was a fun thing to build and a fun thing to show off, you know. All right, so working on the other leg. In a moment or two, we'll take a break, pause for the cause. I'll talk about some of the ways you can support the stream. Folks have been incredibly supportive, as I said, we're at 60 subscribers, which is just wonderful nonsense. And I want to thank everybody who has gifted subs. I hope that if you've been gifted a sub, you will consider continuing that as a gift, the gift that was to you. I hope you consider sticking around because that it is a $5 adds up real quick. You know, I'm an affiliate streamer, so I do get that. You are. Oh, Lashbrook says, so tonight I'm doing the opposite of the building with Baer, and I'm disassembling the Super Saiyan Blue Goku you sent. I sent Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Krillin to Lashbrook, because Lashbrook won the model giveaway, my monthly subscriber giveaway. If you're a subscriber for the last build stream of the month, I will pull a name out at random using random number generator and send you a kit that I've built on the stream, or kits sometimes. I want to see the build process myself and also try to clean up and panel line it and maybe redo the boot stickers. Yes, so I will say that, like, obviously, this is a tool that you very rarely see with me on stream. The sandpaper stick is a thing that I almost never use. I will sometimes do some touch up with my snipper clips, but I'm not, partially because we're doing this live, you know, and it's not like a time lapse thing. I don't spend a lot of time doing that. But that's cool. I love that. Please send me photos, Lashbrook. You can put them. You can send them directly to Twitter, or you can put them on my Discord, which I'll link to in a moment. But yeah, I'd love to see what you're working on, your process or final results. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, some of my kits leave something to be desired because I am doing it while I'm talking, and I'm not going to sit here with my sandpaper and really get those right. And as we said, I'm not great with stickers, so like Goku's boots, probably didn't do as good a job as I could have on Goku's boots, but did best for the time. So yeah, I also always include when I send out uh, this hair was a real pain. Oh yeah, disassembling the hair is not easy. Also, any Saiyan hair sharp as fuck. It's actually very sharp. The worst one I think so far I built is Trunks. Maybe it was Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, but that hair hurt. But Trunks' hair, like when you have to switch the heads around, is sharp. Um, this MG I'm building is way too sticker reliant. Yeah, Robot. I always include the decals and water stickers, water-based stickers. I always include those with kits when I send them out to people, but I am never doing them. I do some stickers, but I'm not really into that. All right, so we'll take a moment here. We're stopping on this step, so I'll put my thing there, or I'll do this instead. We're stopping right here. Hello. This is the Build with Baer workshop, as you're aware. And I can't do this without your support, and I appreciate it so much. First of all, if you're watching and you're not already following, give me a follow, turn on your notifications so you know when I stream. I stream Thursdays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and I stream on Mondays from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. Starting this Monday, I am now a 3 times a week build streamer. Hello, Asmo and Ultron, throwing in the Bear Cave emote. Yeah, consider becoming a subscriber. You can use your Twitch Prime token. If you have your Twitch, Amazon Prime linked up with your Twitch, you get a token you can use for people, which is rad, and it's just like using money for me. Or you could use actual money. We've had some lovely gifters out there, which is incredible. Thank you so much for the gifts. So even if we've done 10 gifts and next month we're down to 50, that's still incredible, and I'm so thankful for it. Another way to support the stream is to join my Patreon. $5 a month, you get any video I make, with the exception of League of Heels announcement videos. Those go live to everyone at the same time. Every other video I make, you get early for $5 a month. $1 a month, you get announcements. It's a good way to kind of keep track of what's going on with me if you don't really want to join fucking Twitter. Because I, update people. There's a Q&A. $10 a month, I'm going to put a poll up tomorrow for my $10 a month backers about what I build after this. Because I have a bunch of kits that I bought myself over time, and my $10 a month Patreon supporters get to decide what I build next. Unless if I get something in the mail off my Amazon wish list, which is now in the show description and in the chat. Amazon wish list jumps the queue, jumps the line. I got this Lego set I've been sitting on since the summer, but stuff like Board picked up the Tallgeese 3 we're building right now. So that jumps the queue. I know that at least somebody has bought me something off my Amazon wish list, but it's being shipped from Japan, so I don't know when it's going to arrive. But when I get that, that becomes the next thing I build. So if there's something on there you think is cool, I think I already mentioned this kind of Lego set that it's a NES case for the Raspberry Pi. I put that at the bottom. At the bottom, I always put like gear that might be kind of cool. Like, I don't know, you're like, I don't really care about model kits, but yeah, get a Raspberry Pi. I don't know. The Spiegel went up in price. The G Gundam Spiegel. That is expensive now. But yeah, I put a bunch of stuff in there. I've got a Transformer that I would love to build. Never built the model kit of a Transformer. I've got some Dragon Ball stuff. I've got some kind of inexpensive Ninjago stuff and Marvel stuff. The smaller kits would be kits that I would take on the road with me when I travel so that I can stream from the road because I want to make sure that I'm streaming 3 times a week. And if I'm going away Thursday to Sunday, I want to make sure I can stream at least once when I'm gone. Um, I like to do that, and then I also have a coffee. That's tips. Anything sent from that just goes to me buying more kits. Hey J-Bo, welcome. Um, but yeah, that's another way to support the stream. Tell a friend if you know somebody that likes model kit building, that likes talking about anime, that likes talking about games, and likes a really chill community. Let them know that this is one that they could check out. I have the Build with Baer community. Please watch that or go to that, join that. I post all my build photos. It's a good way to keep track of that. Folks that you know here from chat promote themselves. Harold streams all the time and does monthly. I know that was this afternoon, but does monthly charity streams. And there's a bunch of folks that kind of do stuff now and again, not as regularly as Harold, but they do. Or they post their own things, like, hey, Johnny Smashmouth, he bought his girlfriend a bunch of Lego. She bought him a bunch of Lego. They've been posting photos of all that Lego. It's cool. I have a new YouTube series. It's going to be posting every Wednesday. It's called Backgrounded Characters. I grab a random image, throw it on my green screen, improvise in front of that image. I did one so far. My second one will be up on Wednesday. You can watch that there. And then one of the last plug, and then we'll get into talking about some new anime. If you'd like, you are more than welcome to, and you're in New York, please consider coming to see Shit Arcade. If you're in the New York area, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, come take a drive, take the train. Come see Shit Arcade. It's this Friday, January 18th, 10 p.m. at Union Hall. It is Mike Drucker's show, and it is really awesome. Really, really awesome. I highly recommend checking out Mike's show, and I'm going to be in it. Gita Jackson's going to be there. Anthony Tamanek, Katie Hannigan, Roy Wood Jr., some really talented, very funny people. It's going to be very cool. So that hopefully will be the last of that. Ultron says, that chess piece almost killed that guy. Indeed. But there have been no fatalities in human-sized chess. Okay, so which reoccurring system do you get the best cut from? Patreon. Honestly, Patreon's cut is certainly better than... My cut with Twitch is 50-50, but the more subscribers I have, it goes a long way towards me becoming a partner. It's still very hard for me to hit the goal of 75 average viewers. That's a long ways away, but if I can keep my numbers up, that's good. But yeah, legitimately, Patreon is my best thing because their cut is kind of not that much. And then also, the money I get from Patreon, they automatically minus the money I owe to other Patreon patrons that I support. So it's just like easier. That way it doesn't come out of my bank account. So in a way, you're supporting other Patreons, but not really. Some people like just spending $5, like Iron Souls. Iron Souls is a great example. Iron Souls does not watch live. Iron Souls is my only $10 tier supporter on Twitch, but Iron Souls just set $10 a month to go to me and watches on YouTube on occasion. But mostly just decided that was a way to support me, which is incredible and so generous. And other people, they just do the Patreon, turn off their notification by email. Just got to check out. Harold says, thanks for the plug, Pat. I'll actually be doing 40 hours of streaming for Extra Life in February as part of my 40th birthday. 5 hours for Extra Life every weekend in February. That's awesome. Yeah, so you don't run ads that I've ever seen, so the one pre-roll I don't really care. Well, so they also changed that. It used to be that Twitch Prime, Twitch Prime, being a subscriber with Twitch Prime meant that you didn't see ads. They actually did away with that because, as far as I can tell, the Twitch Prime is a great way for Amazon owns Twitch. It's a great way to get more people to try Twitch, which is what they want no matter what. They want more people on the service. But they hit certain goals that they had set for last year, and they weren't going to make that revenue goals with the fact that a lot of people weren't seeing ads. So they changed that, and then it went whenever your Amazon Prime renewed, you suddenly lost that ability in Twitch Prime. So that for me, that was December. For other people, it was earlier. But because I'm not a premium member, I don't run ads on Twitch. So Twitch might be just easier for people to be like to use, or it might be easier for people to use to support me via Patreon. There's different ways. And for some folks, it's like, I don't need the emotes. I will say this. I like it when the numbers go up. So if that's Patreon supporters, if that's Twitch subscribers, the fact that right now we have 60 subscribers and 21 viewers, that's not typical. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but normally a lot of people watch and just watch it, and a small percentage of that subscribe. I have a lot of people who subscribe and can't watch it live, and then watch it on YouTube or watch the VODs, but they want me to keep doing it, so they're happy to subscribe. This is 100% atypical, from what I can gather. I'm not alone in that, but it definitely is somewhat unusual. That hit me early as mine renewed the day after the announcement. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I got some months of that. Road asks, who doesn't like it when the numbers go up? I don't know. Somebody probably does. Somebody probably likes to see the numbers stay the same because of their style. I got to drink a little water. I drank so much water yesterday because of singing. And sometimes when I'm doing this, I forget to stop and drink water, and that's bad. Especially now that I have another 2 hours a week of build streaming, I have to be better about, one, I have to be better about things to talk about, and I have to think about, because I'm going to have more time, and I have to make sure that I'm up to date on my anime so I can talk about anime, and not just like get caught up every Thursday. If you like RPGs, you like the numbers going up, and clicker games. Yeah, I mean, that's all clickers. Clickers are just like, I did a thing, and then a thing happened. Hooray! Fares asks, or says, I'm just deciding between getting the emotes or just using Patreon. Yeah, I mean, look, Patreon is nice because you can find out what I'm up to, right? I do a Q&A every month just for Patreon supporters. I post my videos and links early, so you can always have that in an email. I don't expect any time in the future to do like sub chat only, right? Like I don't have to get way fucking bigger to have a chat just for subs, right? That I check in with them there. There's also Patreon. I have it set up on my Discord that there's a Patreon only room. We don't use it for anything. It's just kind of like a thing you can do. So I did it. But like, mostly it's in there. Literally, I think I posted like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And then like, Tanya wrote one thing in there like, hey, VIP. And I was like, yeah, that's it. But yeah, mostly it's just people's preferences. I set up a Patreon because there are some folks that like didn't really want to support Amazon, which I understand. And as a way to support, like set it and forget it, or they don't want to have an account, or they, I don't know. It's easier for them because they already use Patreon. You know, I have a couple people who support me who I also support them, and it's a vicious cycle. I posted last night that my friend Alex is going through some rough stuff financially, and people should join their Patreon. And you can find that link in my Twitter. Uh, um, and I think people should because Alex is dope. Um, if you did that, I'd swap to paying here, but I think I'm going Patreon. Yeah, I mean, look, thank you. Any way you can support me is wonderful. I think there's some positive things about Patreon. I think they're sometimes very bad at being a. Excuse me, I'm very sorry about that. That's rude and gross. Um, Sometimes Patreon is bad at being a business. They seem very bad at like they make decisions that seem just dumb and nonsensical and don't talk to the community enough. But also I think they are the best way to support to I didn't get invited to do Drip, right? I'd be interested in Drip. Drip is uh Patreon's the monthly service. I think that's kind of cool, but um, I haven't gotten invited in. It's still invite only. So, well, thank you very much, Fire. You just became a $5 Patreon supporter. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that. That's awesome. I will indeed take your money. Thank you. And then later tonight, you'll get your first email from me, or message, notification at least. I will post this video. And you'll get it hours before everybody else, even though you are watching live. Yeah. Okay, so we got about 45 minutes left in the stream. I want to talk about some anime. First things first. My roommate is a cat. That sounds like I am making a statement about my life. I am not. I do not have a cat as a roommate. That is the title of an anime that I think is pretty cool. It is kind of from the perspective of both of them figuring things out and figuring out people who aren't really great people. And it's weird. And I liked it. I think it was great. It does seem like he says. It does seem Patreon is focused on helping creators more than being good business. Well, number one, it seems that they are focused on appeasing credit card companies, and then helping creators, and then being a good business. Because some of their decisions seem like they are just not willing to stand up to demands given to them by banks and credit card companies. But that's a little side of the one. Anyway, so they're still better than several alternatives. So my roommate is a cat. He is really solid. I'm interested in. I watched the episode again. I'm definitely going to be checking this out in the future. I think there's some cool stuff to that show. And I am really invested already in this guy who isn't good with people and cat who hasn't had a good life coming together and becoming important to each other. And I think I don't know, it hit me and I really liked it. Second thing I want to talk about is the Quintessential Quintuplets. I might fucking not watch this one. It is a romance show, but also probably a harem show. The idea is there's a guy, he's broke, his parents are in debt. He's trying to get out of debt for him and his little sister. He takes a job as a tutor because he is good at that. And it's a set of 5 girls who are all his classmates. They're quintuplets. And they all have different personalities. And one of them is horny. And then another one thinks he's horny. And there's, I think, probably supposed to be a main girl. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that one. Epic says, so I just wanted to thank Pat and the chat for Hellsing Ultimate suggestion. I have started watching it and loving it. Yeah, uh, that one felt like the one to recommend to you. Of all of the things that you had kind of said you were maybe going to be into and had liked in the past. Um, I think that's a good one. Asmo says, way to support creators, ranked. Dismantle capitalism, direct purchases, Patreon. Yes, Asmo, I mean, honestly and earnestly, the real best way is to be a patron of the arts. Like, that, they get their name from a good thing. Like, the idea that really all I genuinely want for several of my friends and I guess myself is I want a very rich person to be like, make me this thing, and then make other things. Okay, I think it'll be good. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Last Brick. I don't think Avatar is like it's because it's really fucking good, but I don't know if it's. I think Epic might want something a little darker. In tone. I think it's. I mean, Avatar is incredible. It's one of the best U.S. animations that's like ever happened. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. That might be a little not dark. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know if that would work. But yeah, I mean that's really what I want is um, it is this is power of the people. That's clear. I am coming to you and saying, "Hey, I want to do this," and y'all are saying yes. Um, like my coffee, my Ko-fi, and my various other ways that I before I became an affiliate, I started a Patreon because I was like, oh, well, that's a way that people can support, and maybe some of my friends that like me for other things that I do, but don't really care about model kit building or video games. That's a way for them to support as well. Why can't I figure out why this goes in? Maybe I should put the other one in first. I don't know. But yeah, it felt like a way for people to be able to easily and quickly and easily support what I do, and felt like a no-brainer. Claymore's kind of interesting. Yeah, I like the dark stuff so far with my anime. Don't know what to say about me. So, a show that I ended up I skipped a lot of episodes of it, Epic, but you might like Goblin Slayer. Came out last season. I got very turned off by the first episode, and it is fucking like they had to put up a big old like content warning because they did not do that because they were hyping fucking what do you call it? Maybe I have the wrong piece. I can't tell what's going on, but I can't get this to work while I'm talking. No, not the wrong piece. But Crunchyroll basically be like, hey, sorry, shit, fuck, yeah, you all are mad about this one, are bad. Okay, there we go. I think I got it now. But it also has some humor to it and is interesting, I think. Claymore had the caught up to the manga issue. Yes, that is a rough thing. The Hunter x Hunter problem, or the thing that I think is incredible. Spoilers for Flame of Recca. Guess what? If you didn't watch Flame of Recca, they're never gonna do it again. They caught up to the manga and then just murdered the main villain. He had a whole other thing going in the manga, and they were like, he gets murdered. They were like, this is the way to solve this. We're just going to have other bad guys murder the bad guy because we don't know what to do, but we want something final. So sorry that I just spoiled the end of Flame of Recca, but y'all were going to watch Flame of Recca anyway if you haven't already. Suicide Zaku asked, "How is that kit?" Um, this kit rules. Um, Thanks for asking. I love it. This is there. Look, the main thing with the Tallgeese 3 is there aren't outside of the weapons. I think the gun is really fun, and I think the whip into the shield is fun. But that's the end. There's nothing like there's no tricks to this one. It's a pretty straightforward build. I think the skirt assembly is really fun. Lower body assembly. Thank you for the follow, Suicide Saku. Um, yeah, I mean, it's an expensive kit. This Tallgeese 3 is expensive. Thanks once again, obviously, to Board for buying this off my wish list. Um, I would say the other Tallgeese are as good and way cheaper, but it is a very cool looking kit, and so I do recommend it. All right, so we got to put some rockets on some um, on some things. Okay, so we see E and uh one thing for this anime journey I am starting. I'm not going to subscribe to multiple services to watch. I signed up free trial of Hulu for Hellsing, and that's fine. Yeah, I would say I mean, it used to be able to say just sign up for Verve. If you it's in your country, if your country supports that, just sign up for Verve. That used to be a no-brainer because you got Funimation and Crunchyroll. That doesn't exist anymore. I would say if you have Amazon Prime, Dororo only has one episode so far, but I'm very interested in Dororo because I remember fondly the game based on the manga. Uh, so I would think that'd be cool. So I think that's kind of a fun one, as it is a cool. And Amazon Prime, a lot of people have without having to have anything else. Um, let's see, what else do I? Now Verve has High Dive, so that is some stuff that I didn't have access to before. Then I haven't really delved into what they have that I couldn't watch earlier, but I'm excited about checking that out and figuring that out. All right, so we'll put the Lego side there. It says a lot about how much I remember Wing that I don't remember there being a Tallgeese 2 even. Yeah, I mean, uh, the Tallgeese are pretty similar modifications. Tallgeese 3 is the marriage between the Epion and the Tallgeese. So it has some things that are kind of similar between the two. I don't know why in Endless Waltz they went back to the Tallgeese, but they did, and it's neat. I think it's a cool kit, so I'm not mad about it. I'm not complaining. Oh, dropped the sheet. Uh, Anime Tube Unlimited on Xbox, free, no ads. Oh, that's a lot of anime. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a ton of services, right? And then there's the not so legal ones as well, which I don't recommend because I'm not here to do that. Also, it's been a while since I said this, so I should say this out loud. I don't pay for my Verve account. My Verve account, which is my Crunchyroll account, I got a friend of mine who works for Verve gifted me a year subscription before he did that, which was in March of last year. I was paying for Crunchyroll. I currently do not. I try to say that pretty often because people, when it comes to that, if they want to take what I say with a grain of salt because I don't pay for my account, that's totally fine, and I understand that. Um, I have never been asked to say or do anything outside of what I was doing. It's mostly just someone I know was like, "You talk about anime on your streams, and you talk about it on Twitter. I want you to keep doing that." So, um, I think that's I think that, but I do like to say it now and again because I know that people. I like to be straightforward with my recommendations. I always play it straight. I'm not in it for anybody. Um, if I know somebody who worked on something and I'm talking about it, uh, like that's hopefully people will understand that. I will say that like, oh hey, this is a thing that's cool. Also, these people worked on it. I think that's important. I think letting you know what's going on. I know that some people don't want to hear that stuff. They don't like to see the paid content or anything like that. I have not done anything like that. I haven't played any games because people send it to me. People don't send me games. If people wanted to send me games for me to talk about on Let Pat Play or to do a BWB games stream, I would be willing to do that. I'd be interested in doing that. But I also would make sure that y'all knew I was doing that. It would be very important to me that you knew that I'm playing such and such because so and so told me to play it or asked me to play it and sent me a code. Like I want to be upfront with that stuff, and I will be. All right, so we put the booster rockets are basically like I love these. They're just part of like the back here. They're not a backpack, and I think they just are placed very cool. And I think that they pop in and out really nice. I know a guy that did the sound for the dub of Claymore. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Uh, I'll admit that I haven't been checking out dubs as much as I used to. I used to um, I used to watch a lot of stuff dubbed because it was on television, and when your options were watch it on TV or watch fan subs on your computer, um, or buy very expensive DVDs so you can watch it later, I would often watch it dubbed because it was available. But now that I'm mostly watching things subtitled through Crunchyroll and through Amazon Prime, and that's kind of how I'm doing things. So I don't really keep track of dubs. Board had mentioned Anime News Network. I've been reading that site since 206 or so. Plus, the lead editor got you into Giant Bomb, and GB let me find Pat. So I'll start with anime. That's awesome, Board. And I love that Anime News Network is how you found out about Giant Bomb. That's like there's a period of time where people would be like, oh, and now it's like, well, yeah. Uh, I think about I don't know how many people did it, but you have to imagine that there are people who went to a panel at the LA Anime Convention. They just went to a panel because they were like, oh, Victoria's hosting this. Sailor B, I'll go to that. And they went to the Giant Bomb panel. And their first exposure to Giant Bomb as anime fans was them like watching anime clips to decide if they wanted to watch that anime. And I think it's very funny that like that's somebody's introduction to those crew is that. And then there's also like some people who watch what I do who have no connection to that because they came into me from the video game wrestling stuff, or they came to me because friends recommended my build stream stuff. Like it's always been odd to me to think about that, how there's like some people who have no connection to Giant Bomb that watch the stuff I do. It's always been a little odd, but cool. And then you got oh, that's awesome. You got to see the Funimation studio. That's cool. Look, it is true. There are definitely some bad people that like anime. Just like there are some good people that like anime. Um, One of the nice things is as tastes change, as People who grew up with it get older. Um, it becomes less like stigmatized, and people just become okay talking about it. Like which I'm always, I always want people to talk about the things they love and to be into the things that they're into. And, I don't want anyone to hurt themselves or other people, but like what you like, be cool about it, be cool to people. Um, I have had people say, I have not built Lego since I was a kid, and I bought a Lego set because of your streams, which makes me so happy that people like are working on a new hobby, or people that are like, I was always scared to build model kits, or I didn't think it was for me, or I always assumed because I don't like Gundam that I shouldn't buy a model kit, but I love Dragon Ball and I bought a Dragon Ball kit. Like, that always makes me incredibly happy that people are trying a thing that they just decided at some point in their life wasn't for them. Um, Always try the thing you thought wasn't for you. Don't don't say I don't like that thing because I decided I didn't like it 10 years ago. And you might have been right. You know yourself better than anybody else. But you also may have, fucked up. Uh, let's see. Dubs can be really good, but some changes characters weirdly. Kobayashi and Dragon Maid is very straight in the dub, which is odd and uncomfortable change. Well, that sucks. They toned down. I don't know how you tone down the Valentine's Christmas episode. Because that episode, or the Hot Springs Valentine's one, because that episode is just straight up gay. The fact that that's a bummer to hear that they toned down her obvious love, which is a lot, and it's not hard to argue fucking too much and calm the fuck down, Kobayashi, or not Kobayashi, but um, Dragon Maid. You want to turn that? You want to chill the fuck out, Toru. Um, that quote it's a good quote. Anime isn't bad. People who like anime are bad. You're all bad. Is a pretty good quote. Board says I watched the Bleach movie on Netflix. Now I'm starting to rewatch the series. I am dumb. Oh, there's so much Bleach, Board. Oh, there's just so much to it. There was a thing I read briefly online that people were trying to start a Naruto rewatch and start with the first series, and I'm like, don't. There's too much anime. Also, there's so much good anime out there. I understand. I've got a bunch of series that I just rewatch. Hell, a couple sometime last year I rewatched New Game and New Game double exclamation point, the second series. I don't need to watch New Game again, but I did, and it was great because New Game rules. Uh, Oh, Harold, don't worry about it. Long thought we moved on. We haven't moved on from anything. We can talk about whatever. Harold says, I discovered Patton 404ing it via Eric Pope. He mentioned a panel he was going to be on PAX East during the Harmonic stream. Uh, Although I didn't meet Pat in person until years later. Yes, I've had several people that said, I saw your show description uh, on the website or in the app, and I was like, this doesn't seem like it's about video games. I'm going to go to that, which I think is just such a funny thing. But I literally heard that from multiple people. They were like, I just wanted to go to something. It said that you worked at a comedy theater or that you're a comedy person. And I was like, I want to go see something funny. And I was like, that's really great that's why there are people out there who know what I do. Because they were like, I don't want to watch something about video games. Um, I now have more respect for folks that do subtitles anime after watching Hellsing and trying to get invested. Sometimes I think, is that really how that should have been translated? Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're bad. And even sometimes the translation, localization is very hard. And also, a lot of shows now are doing very quick. And sometimes they get the scripts way ahead of time. And sometimes they don't. The ones that are simulcast. But even now, even some of the subtitled stuff, you notice there are mistakes because they're doing it so quickly that sometimes they have like spelling errors because it came out with the Japanese version. So yeah, sometimes the simul dubs are off an old script and there was like changes and ad libs that you just and to subtleties you just don't get. It's not perfect. Um, oh, Asmo says something about like um, yes, Chris Cluey or Cluey, I forget his last name, the former NFL punter, uh, turned band guy turned game designer. Yeah, he was talking about it's really funny because the thing about when you talk about anime and it's not the thing that you've or any if, when you talk about a subject that you know a little bit about one thing from it but not a lot of things about a lot of things from it, it's hard because people that know a lot are like, this is what you're talking about. So he's been talking about Baki or Baki. He's talking about Baki, and the thing about Baki is some people know this, some people don't because it's not the anime they follow. That this is like the fifth version of Baki that exists. It's a show that has existed, various versions, various tellings of the stories, and takes from it have existed from years. If you type in Baki, you've got to type in like 2018 or OVA or The World's Strongest, and like it's a series that existed for a long period of time. This is just the newest one, and it happens to be the one that he found and is liking. Um, but he was like, "Hey, I found this thing. It seems cool," and people were like, this isn't the one to watch. You got to watch this one." And it's like, but this is the one I want to watch. This is the one I like. Um, it's it's a just like a generally like a cool thing. Like, oh, also like Baki's fucking a mess. So I don't know if I could ever recommend that stuff. It's in ultra violent fighting action, and everyone everyone should be dead in that show. And then sometimes characters do die, and you're like, that was anticlimactic because, and you're like, wait, are you actually dead? Or are you gonna come back in like a week because that didn't seem as strong as the other thing that did it, that you brushed off like it was no big deal. So are you dead or not? What's happening? Oh, I dropped a sheet here. Did I drop it? I2. Where are you, I2? So I don't know if I can recommend that show because it's kind of a mess. But it's an ultraviolet mess. It's enjoyable. Um, did I talk about the only anime I want to talk about? ENDRO! 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 Exclamation point. Y'all, ENDRO is cute. It's a slice of life about heroes. It's a young lady slice of life show. Y'all know that is a thing that I am very into. I love slice of life. I like friendship animes. I like support animes. You know, like anime where people are supporting each other, getting stuff done, doing cool things, going on adventures. So yeah, I am real into uh, ENDRO. It's only been one episode, but I liked it. Let's see. All right. So I dropped the sheet and I have to go get it. So hold on. I'm gonna put up the pre-show symbol just for a moment because I have to stand up and go get a thing. Be back in a second. You can probably hear me. I took my headset off, but I'm talking, and maybe you can hear me lightly talking as I walk over here. But not only did this one, it was a small sheet, it dropped and then bounced because it was really small. And but I got it, and then I'm gonna put my headset back on, and you can definitely hear me. And then I'm going back to this, and we're back. I'm gonna have a little more water. Epic says, well, so far I have that feeling with Helsing every time they shout Alucard. You guys know he ain't dead, dying, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, he could be hurt. You got to be freaked out. Um, that's the part of isekai that's always interesting. Like, as a viewer, we know that this week's episode 14 of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. We know that when the uh, oop, we know that the orc disaster, which is a demon lord powered orc, we understand that the orc disaster is not going to beat the slime Rimuru. We know that, but everybody else is a little nervous about it because, well, mostly because they're fighting a thing called the Orc Disaster, which is such a good goddamn name for a major villain. But yeah, we knew no problem. We knew there'd be no problem at all that Rimuru would win. But that's because I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote in there. It's been a little while. I'm going to throw that emote in. If you want to throw an emote in, you can. Last 15 minutes or so of the stream. But we know he's going to be okay because he's the main character and overpowered. So we're not worried. But everybody else was like, oh no! This could go bad. It didn't go bad. We were good. All right, so we're going to attach this stuff here to waist here. Attach the legs too. We're getting there. Thank you for throwing that Bear Cave emote in there. Let me know what's up. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm going to put a poll up because we're not going to finish this tonight, but we will finish this on Monday. We're getting very far in our building, so I expect on Monday we'll definitely finish. My dog waking me up with dry heaves is the Hork disaster. Okay. Orc disaster sounds like a 99-cent Civil War Steam release. Yes, it sounds like a mistranslation, but it's great because he was the Orc Lord. He was a orc that evolved into being an Orc Lord, and then he ate a Majin, a big wizard guy, and evolved further into becoming the Orc Disaster, which was theoretically unbeatable, but not because he fought against the main character of the anime, who kicked his ass. I'll say this right now. These are the best I have ever seen of the skirt. This is rules. I'm going to cough. Sorry about that. The time I pushed the stopper from a bottle of wine into the bottle was a cork disaster. Thank you, Asmo. Shadow says their moment standalone complex. Yes, the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, where a character is made fun of in universe for a worrying yell trope. That's pretty fun. I like that. Epic as asking about the Jump Force video game. I have heard mixed things. I like the look of it. I agree with the statement, the sentiment of Ben Pack that I want Yu Yu Hakusho characters to be in a cool fighting game. I don't know if they're getting that, but I love them and I want that. So, whoops, I just lost a piece there. So I don't know. It looks bad, and I don't want it to be bad. I want it to be very good, but I don't think it is good. I think it might be a bad fighting game thing, and that's a shame because there's a lot of characters in there that I want to be in a good fighting game. I'm having a little trouble getting this to snap on. I don't know why. The other one came on no problem. Not sure what this issue is, if it's me, if it's this, but we'll go on. But yeah, on Monday we'll be starting a new kit. It'll be maybe a Lego set, maybe a model kit. I'm going to put the poll up tomorrow for my $10 Patreon supporters to vote on what they want to see me build next, because we will finish this on Monday. I gotta get back. I gotta be better about doing that because now that we have 3 streams a week of model kits, like if my next stream was on Thursday, I would have plenty of time. No, I don't. So I have to be better about like knowing what's on deck. Maybe instead of waiting to be far along in the kit. I'll do it once we start the kit. So I probably should have done it on Thursday. But I'm learning. Uh, so, Yugi Boy. Yes, Yami Yugi rules. So here's the thing that happens with this skirt. Before we attach the things, I want to point this out. So you may see this. They open up. They've got a lot of mobility to them. But they also have this little peg that you can peg into the side of the leg to stabilize them and keep it attached to the leg, which is awesome. It is a really cool feature. It means they won't move around and locks them in place, and you can pop them out for more mobility. But I'm going to keep them like that. I think that's awesome. I think it's probably the night design or whatever, and then we're going to add in. There, we have finished the main build of our kit. All we have left is the backpack parts, the rocket boosters backpack, and the 2 weapons. One thing that this kit does that I don't like is it does the fold out there to like save on, I don't know, not save on paper, but I don't know why they do it, but I don't like it. I never have. I don't think I ever will. But yeah, we can get started on the backpack here, and we will finish up in, my Monday stream is 2 hours. We'll definitely build the mega cannon, the shield, the whip, and finish the backpack. So even if it takes all 2 hours, we're definitely going to finish it up. So I'll put a poll out for my $10 Patreon supporters on Monday and say, hey, we're getting close to finishing this up. What should I build next? I hope the Lego Ideas spaceship or space shuttle gets picked, because I'd like to build that, and I've had it for a while. I think it looks cool. But if it doesn't get built, that's fine. Or that doesn't get picked, that's fine. I also have the high-grade sand rock from Endless Waltz to build, because the master grade is very expensive, so I bought the high grade, because as many of you know, my goal is to build every of the main 6 to 7, depending on how you want to say it, Gundams, because if you want to call Epion a Gundam, if you want to say that the Wing Zero and the Wing are 2 different Gundams, but I want to build all the main Gundams in that show and every variation of it, and the ones that are incredibly expensive, I will just purchase the high-grade version. Like, we built the high-grade Heavy Arms, the Heavy Arms Gundam. We built the high-grade version of it because the Endless Waltz version of the high-grade of that, because the master grade is very expensive. And I wasn't going to buy that. All right. Okay, so we did that, and then we need I-16. There it is. Found it. As always, once I finish one of these backpacks, doing the other one, I keep calling. They say backpacks. They're just like booster rockets. They're just like boosters, but they call it a backpack. Even though it's 2 different things, no one wears 2 backpacks. I mean, maybe someone does. Most people don't wear 2 backpacks. They wear a backpack, and these are they're packs, but I don't love the description that they're backpacks. C1 and E. So what we need for this. Great. E, we just need E13. I would recommend, if folks have never seen, because I know some people have watched, remember watching the dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! I would say try to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. I don't know where it's available or if it's available, but Season 0 is kind of awesome. So basically the idea is, I dropped a piece, I'm going to pick it up. The manga wasn't always about Duel Monsters, the card game that the show primarily became about. The first season of Yu-Gi-Oh, especially uh, the first manga series, and then the first season of anime, is like a monster. It's like a monster of the week. It's a game of the week. There's not a lot of lore to it, but basically it's like this mysterious puzzle gets unlocked. Suddenly, Yugi is like there's a dark version of him, and he punishes people by beating them in games. And it's a bunch of different games that happen in it. And then one of those games is Duel Monsters. And people were like, that seems fucking cool. You should just do that. So the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh, which we did not air in the U.S. originally. Originally, it aired the what was it? The first season aired just like basically the U.S. the second season. I've read the first volume of the manga. It's pretty messed up. But yeah, it eventually came out in Shonen Jump. When Shonen Jump did U.S., they did like a best of series, and it started with that. It is pretty messed up. He is like the puzzle master. He is a little bit of a Cenobite. He's not looking for pleasure, but he's looking for like vengeance, and it's fucked up. But I think really interesting. It introduces all the characters, and you get to see the thing. And then people were like, you know what's cool? That Duel Monsters thing seems real cool. Could you do that some more? And he was like, fine. Um, and it is cool. And then it definitely, it got less messed up. It's still messed up, but it got less messed up as it went. Um, but yeah, that what's now called Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0, in the US at least, is pretty fucking cool, I think. Uh, until they like explained a bunch of stuff and made it about a mystical card game, and all the stuff that happened that season is never talked about ever, except how it is talked about like briefly. Um, the Kaiba stuff is mentioned because Kaiba is in the first season, the mysterious season. Um, okay, so this goes in like this, and this goes like this, and then this goes like this. All right, so hmm. Okay. So this is the lowest piece down. Sorry. These rockets kind of like interlock, and I want to make sure that I am locking them right. So I apologize for getting quiet. I know quiet is not good when I am the only one talking. Uh, it's not great for a live stream if I'm like, here's the part where I shut the fuck up and just focus on building a thing. But this is annoying me. So basically the way I'm going to be putting this together is as one opens, the other opens, and it's a cool thing, but I have to do it right. It's when this is done, this is going to look really cool. It looks good on all the Tallgeese. This is one of the best parts of the design. So it says do this one, then do this one, that, come in at an angle, and then do this one. Great. Okay, we got it. So they kind of interlock together, and then when one opens, the other opens. I don't want to show that off until I lock it in place, but I'll show that off in a second. So 1 and 3. Started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Before work, and just a show about saving his grandpa and top decking lethal. Yeah. Hey. Hopping out a bit early, but hope to be able to tune in on Monday to see the finished product. Thanks, Pat, as always. Asmo, thank you. We are going to wrap up in just a moment. But yeah, jump out now. That's cool. I am, and I actually, mean that. It sounded condescending. But yeah, we are going to wrap up here. Thank you, Asmo, for hopping in. But yeah, I hope you can see it on Monday or watch the archive, as always. But yeah, Monday afternoon will be the next stream. So people should check that out if they can. And I'll have a new Let Pat Play out, and that should be pretty cool. I looked at something from Gundam Wing. It'll be out on Monday. It is not the fighting game. It is not the Gundam Wing fighting game, but it really wants to be the Gundam Wing fighting game. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I think people will like that, and it ended up being pretty timely to what I'm doing here. But yeah, so here it is. So this is there's going to be more to the booster rocket, right? It's got to get a bunch of parts put on it. But the idea is that if you open one of these, the other one opens as well. So you can pull it apart. Oh, you can't see that because I'm blocking it. My body was blocking it. But yeah, we've got two boosters here. And when you pull one open, the other one opens as well. All right, that's going to do it for the stream. I'm going to finish this up on Monday and then start something new. Not sure what that'll be, but it will be on Monday. I still have more to do, so like I said, it might take the whole thing. But 3:30 p.m. on Monday is the first official Monday build stream. So I hope you can join me for that. I want to thank everybody that hung out in the chat. Y'all are fantastic as always. Thanks for being so supportive of the work I do here. And I will see you all on the next stream. Thank you very much. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the new folks. Thank you for getting me to 60 subscribers. That's unfucking believable. Bored. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. I will see you on Monday for our first official 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Archive will be up as always. And have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.